Authors. It was morning. Sunlight was coming into the bedroom. Everything was quiet. Suddenly, thud. Jungkook suddenly fell down from the bed. Jungkook shouted loudly, Ryan! Ryan suddenly woke up in shock. Ryan panicking. What happened? What happened? Is there an earthquake? She quickly looked around the room. Ryan, did someone steal something? My bag, my jewelry. Then she suddenly gasped. Oh my god, did someone steal my husband too? From the floor, an annoying voice came. Jungkook, I'm here, idiot. Ryan quickly looked down and saw Jungkook lying on the floor near the bed, rubbing his butt in pain. Jungkook complaining, Are you a wild girl or what? You pushed me from the bed. Ryan stared at him for a second. Then suddenly she started laughing very loudly. Ryan laughing, Me? I pushed you? Oh my god, no way. Authors still laughing. She tried to help him get up. But while laughing so much, she lost her balance and fell directly on top of him. Jungkook immediately moved over her and looked at her closely. Jungkook smirked. You are laughing too much, huh? He leaned closer. Jungkook, first you pushed me from the bed, you little devil. Authors. Then he slowly started kissing her neck. Van breathing became heavier and she started losing control. Van nervously, Jungkook, please no. Jungkook, stop. But Jungkook didn't move, so Van quickly pushed him away and jumped up. She ran towards the door. While laughing, Van shouted teasingly, Stay there on the floor. Authors. After some time, Van was getting ready. She was standing in front of the mirror, fixing her hair and looking at herself. Just then, Jungkook came behind her and lightly pushed her aside with his butt. Jungkook moved in front of mirror and started fixing his hair like nothing happened. Van looked at him in shock. Van, hey, what are you doing? I was using the mirror. Jungkook calmly, I need it more. Van immediately pushed him a little and tried to stand in front of again. Van, no, I will go first. Jungkook, no, I will go first. Van, I was already here. Jungkook, I am the husband. Both started arguing like little kids. Van, I will go first. Jungkook, no, I will go first. Then suddenly both stopped and spoke at the same time. Fine. Half mirror yours, half mirror's mine. Both started fixing their hair on their own sides of the mirror. Authors. There are many mirrors in this house, but these two only want this. Suddenly, Jungkook and Van both looked forward and said at the same time, Shut up, author. I want this mirror. Then Van pointed at Jungkook. Van, tell him to go away. Jungkook pointed at Van. Jungkook, no, tell her to go away. Author, shut up you both. You two keep fighting, I'm leaving, bye. Authors, of course me, and honestly I don't get paid enough to handle these two every morning. Back in the room, Jungkook and Van were still standing in front of the mirror, fixing their hair. Van pushing his shoulder. Move a little, you are taking my space. Jungkook fixing his hair proudly. This is my mirror. Van, oh really? Did you buy it only for yourself? Jungkook smirked. Jungkook, yes. Van narrowed her eyes and suddenly messed up his hair with her hand. Van laughing. Now fix it again, Jungkook. Froze for a second, then slowly looked at her. Jungkook, you just made a big mistake, Van. Immediately understand what he mean. Van backing away slowly. Jungkook, don't you dare. Jungkook cracked his knuckles and started walking towards her. Jungkook, oh, I definitely dare, Van suddenly screamed and ran out of the room laughing. Van, catch me if you can. And Jungkook immediately ran after her. Authors, see, this is exactly where I left. Authors, after some time, both Jungkook and Van reached the office. Jungkook was the CEO, so he went straight to his cabin. Van also went to her seat to prepare files for an important meeting. Everything was normal. After a while, Ryan received a phone call. It was about the same important meeting, so she went outside to talk peacefully. Authors near the balcony area, there were also stairs. Van stood there while talking seriously on the phone. Van, yes, make sure the presentation is ready before the meeting starts. Authors, while talking, she suddenly felt something strange. It felt like someone was secretly watching her. Van slowly looked around, but she saw no one. Author, since the call was important, she ignored the feeling and continued talking. Vine, yes, I will check everything. Once I came back, suddenly a strong push came from the behind. Before Vine could even react, she lost her balance and then she fell from the stairs. Step after step, Author's van rolled down the long staircase. Because the stairs were very long, she kept rolling for several seconds. Anyone could tell just by looking that the fall was extremely dangerous. Her head and body kept hitting the steps. Finally, she reached the bottom. Her body stopped moving. Arthur's blood slowly started spreading on the floor around her. For a moment, everything became silent. Then suddenly, employees nearby noticed her. Employee first, shocked. Oh my god, someone call for help. Employee quickly ran towards van. Some tried to lift her carefully, others, but one employee looked up towards the stairs and saw something suspicious. Jungkook's secretary Arya, she was running away from top of the stairs in panic. Employee confused. Wasn't she just there? Authors, before anyone could say anything else, Jungkook came running. Some had already informed him. The moment he saw Van lying there in blood, his face turned completely pale. Jungkook ran to her and immediately lifted her into his arm. Jungkook, terrified, Van, baby, wake up. But Van didn't open her eyes. She didn't move. She didn't say a single word. Jungkook quickly rushed to the car and drove straight to the hospital. The whole way, his hands were shaking because the entire time, Van never opened her eyes. Authors, Jungkook reached the hospital as fast as he could. He ran inside carrying Van in his arms. Jungkook shouting loudly, Doctor, where is the doctor? Someone called the doctor quickly. Doctors and nurses immediately rushed towards them. One doctor quickly checked Van's condition. Doctor, serious voice. Her condition is critical. We have to do urgent surgery. Without wasting a second, the nurses took Van on a stretcher and rushed her toward the operation room. Jungkook tried to go with them, but the nurse stopped him at the door. Nurse, you can't go inside. The operation room door closed. Authors and Jungkook was left standing outside. For the first time, the powerful Mafia CEO, who made everyone else scared, was completely helpless. Jungkook slowly sat down on the chair outside the operation room. His hands were shaking, tears starting falling from his eyes. Jungkook whispered brokenly, Van, please be okay. He covered his face and started crying badly. Just then, authors, someone came running down the hospital corridor. It was Jimmy. Jimmy was Jungkook's best friend. Someone from the office had already informed him about the accident. Jimmy rushed towards him. Jimmy worried Jungkook. The moment Jungkook saw him, he immediately stood up and hugged him tightly. Jungkook started crying even more. Jungkook broken voice, Jimmy, what if something happened to her? His voice was shaking. Jungkook, Van, she will be okay, right? Jimmy held his shoulder and tried to calm him down. Jimmy softly, hey, calm down. He looked at Jungkook seriously. Jimmy, nothing will happen to her. She is strong. Jimmy patted his back. Jimmy, she will be okay. Just trust the doctor. But even after hearing that, Jungkook's eyes kept looking at the operation room door, waiting for it to open. Thus, the red light outside the operation room was still on. Time was passing, but for Jungkook, it felt like everything had stopped. He fell staring at the door. His eyes were red from crying. Jimmy sat beside him quietly. For a few minutes, no one spoke anything. Suddenly, Jungkook spoke in a broken voice. Jungkook, Jimmy, do you remember the day I first met Ryan? Jimmy looked at him. Jimmy, yeah. Jungkook gave a small sad smile while staring at the floor. Jungkook, she was arguing with the shopkeeper because he was charging extra money. Jimmy nodded slightly. Jungkook continued slowly. Jungkook, everyone else was scared to say anything, but she wasn't. A tear rolled down his cheek. Jungkook, she looked so angry like a tiny storm. Jimmy couldn't help but smile a little. Jimmy, and you fell in love, right? There, Jungkook wiped his tear, but more kept coming. Jungkook, I didn't fall in love. He paused. Jungkook whispered softly, I crashed into love. Jungkook leaned back against the wall, closing his eyes. Another memory came to his mind. Jungkook, you know, she always says I look scary. Jimmy cackled lightly. Jungkook, but every night she still hold my hand. Before sleeping, his voice broke again. And Jungkook, and today? He looked towards the operation room door again. Today I couldn't even protect her. Jimmy quickly shook his head. Jimmy, no, don't blame yourself. But Jungkook kept talking like he couldn't stop the memories. Jungkook, this morning she was laughing at me. A weak smile appeared on his face. Jungkook, I fell from the bed and she laughed so much she fell on me. For a second, Jungkook almost smiled, but then the smile disappeared. His eyes filled with tears. Again, Jungkook whispered quietly, I didn't even say sorry to her for shouting. Jimmy gently placed a hand on his shoulder. Jimmy, when she wake up, you can say it then. Jungkook looked at him with tired eyes. Jungkook whispered, she has to wake up, Jimmy. He looked back at the operation room door again. The halfway was silent, only Jungkook's quiet crying could be heard, while he kept praying that Van would open her eyes again, and soon. To be continued. Don't forget to share and subscribe this channel. Tell me which part you like the most. Bye bye.